Hi there, my name is Jessica Drossin, and today I'm going to demonstrate the JD Illumination's Instant Overlay actions and combos for you. So, if you're not familiar with my first Illuminations Instant Overlay product, you may be wondering what an Instant Overlay is. Well, basically, an Instant Overlay is exactly like a traditional JPEG overlay, except that I've created instant overlays to be triggered by an action. So instead of searching through a folder, pulling up an overlay, sizing and placing it, then selecting an opacity and blending mode, I've done all of that for you. Now you can obviously change my default settings, but the bottom line is that instant overlays are faster and more convenient than traditional ones. Okay, so let's go through the product here. Some things are similar to Illuminations 1, but I've made additions and improvements. For starters, we have 40 overlays now. And to view them, you can trigger them individually by selecting them and hitting the play button, or you can use these auditions. You can audition all, you can audition the effect overlays that play with light, you can audition deep overlays, overlays to brighten, overlays to warm or cool. So if you already have a specific edit in mind, you can sort of narrow down the overlays you might want to try out there. But if you're not sure, if you want to familiarize yourself, go ahead and select Audition All. Okay, so now basically you have all 40 of the different overlays right here in your Layers palette. Now they're all turned off, so to view them, you would simply click this little eyeball, and now you can see Arctic Blast, or Aquamarine, Awakening, Blue Skies, Center Stage. Each one of these does something different in terms of the tones and in terms of the way that they shape the light and add depth. So you can play with this in your image and see what's working depending on the particular image. I think for me, I'm going to try just a couple here to do a quick edit. I'm going to select Marvelous, see if I can just sort of play up some of these pink tones that are going on back here and diffuse some of the greenish tones. Try Mesa Sunset and a little hint of lilac to give it a little softness. Now, just to brighten them, I'm going to go ahead and go to my bonus actions here, and I'm going to hit Highlight Bump. Now, I want their faces to even be a little bit brighter here. So instead of going into these masks and painting out areas or lowering the opacity, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go and select something new for this product, which is Mask Alternative, and I'm going to hit the lighten one because I want to lighten their faces. Hitting the play button. And now I'm going to make sure that I have a white brush selected. I'm going to be painting into this mask. I'm going to set my opacity fairly low here at about 22%. Make sure my brush is sized about right. And I'm just going to brush a little bit of lightness onto their faces, maybe around them just a little bit. Help them stand out a little bit against the background. What's nice about this is that it keeps the tones. I'm going to blur that a little bit. It's going to keep our tones consistent with what the overlays have added, but now we're going to be able to lighten the values here in a couple areas. And I'm just going into a little bit of these details here and bringing some of that darkness back in by painting now with the black. So I showed what this overlay was doing. I showed the painting by painting in with white, and now if I want to eliminate some of the little detail, I paint back in with black. So all right, so that's looking nice to me. I might even, no, that might be about all the overlays I want to add right now. And I think what I'm going to do now is I am going to delete the hidden layers, just focusing on the overlays that we chose to work with. And I'm going to show you really quick just how you can customize these overlays a little bit with some of the bonus actions. So I'm going to select Marvelous here, and I'm going to go to Overlay Enlarge with a little less vignette, and I'm hitting play. And what that does is it just moves the vignette out a little bit, softens that look while keeping the same tones. Now let's see Mesa Sunset. I'm going to, let's say I wanted to saturate that a little bit. And you see that that's sort of reduced some of that tone. Now if I don't want to do that, I'm just going to, in this case, I'm going to hit Command Z because I actually sort of like the tone as it was. But you know, this is the way that you would use some of those if you want to, let's say, flip the overlay. Maybe there's a light source over here or something that's light over here and you want it to be over there. You would use the flip overlay. Let's say you want this to intensify. You would hit Overlay Intensify Effect. And I kind of actually like that. I'm going to lower the opacity here, maybe to 30%. Alrighty. And let's move into the bonus editing actions. Some of these are the same as in Illuminations Instant Overlays Volume 1. Some of them are different. So we already have used Highlight Bump. Let's go ahead and let's paint in a little bit of highlights. And we're going to use a new action here that it has just been developed for this particular project. This one's called Pop Highlights. And again, we're going to make sure that we're using a white brush and we're painting into this black mask. And I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. I'm going to crank it up here just, whoa, it cranks it up a little much. Wanted you to be able to see it. Some of the subtleties are lost when I'm making these videos, but let's say you wanted to add a little bit of pop. This is arguably too much. However, what we can do I'm going to go to, I'm in my mask here, and I'm actually going to blur what I did inside of my mask. And now I'm just going to reduce that a little bit. Because I probably went a little hardcore on the faces, because I'm trying to do this pretty quickly. So there's our pop highlights. I could and I'm just going to hit Gaussian blur one more time just to soften that look up again. So here's a really quick edit using those. I'm also going to, let's see here, I'll try to see what the sunset flare does. This can be moved. And if you don't like it, we can just get rid of it. Maybe I'll just lower it. And let's see, there's all kinds of different things if you want to paint in more saturation or less, cool the tones. Maybe let's try adding a golden tone here. Kind of pretty, but let's reduce it. I like some of that pink. So this is just a small little adjustment. But you can basically go in here and fine-tune anything. I'm going to go ahead and just even selectively sharpen a little bit. And if I wanted to, I could even go here and selectively blur and perhaps go into little areas and do a little bit of skin softening. For the purposes of this demo, I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to let you know that that's there in case you do. All right, so there's one edit using the Illuminations Instant Overlays. Let's just do a quick before and after here. So this was our before, and this is our after. And we did that pretty quickly, just playing around with a couple of different options. I also want to show you, I'm going to start off on a new one. Here's another image from that same session. And this time I want to show you the combination actions. Now the combinations are something that's completely new for the Illuminations Instant Overlays Volume 2. So this is basically an add-on pack. You have to have the standard illuminations, and here they are. You have to have these installed in order for these to work. So make sure that they're there. Once they're there, you can run these Illuminations combo actions. And again, I'm going to hit Audition All. This is going to take a little while. And you know, I'm not going to lie, if you have a computer that doesn't have necessarily a lot of memory, it could take a while to run all of the auditions. It would be faster for you to just go ahead and individually trigger some once you get to know what their looks are a little bit better. But I think the bottom line is that these are going to show you 17 very different edits, and they're pretty powerful. And even though this audition may take a couple minutes to run, I guarantee it'll be faster than having 17 totally different edits if you were to just be hand editing from scratch. So bear with me. We're going to let this thing run, and as I said, later on, once you get, you know, your favorites and you know that you want to edit something cool or edit something warm, then obviously you might not want to do all 17. You could just, you know, run one or two. But for now, we're going to show you the full set. All right, so now these are all up. And basically, you can just turn the little eyeball on, and it will show you different combinations. You can go into the folder, and you can tweak any or all of these to customize it for yourself. But right now we're just going to go through all the different folders. So, and you can also change the opacity. So if that feels a little strong, you can make it whatever you want. But there's Blue Day Combo, Cool Pewter, Delicate, Fresh, Gentle Skies, Iced Ivy, Last Light, Lilac, Pale Pink, Pastel, Rosy Sierra, Sierra, Soft Rustic, Turquoise, Vintage Soft, Warm Morning, and Western. So hopefully this will jumpstart and it'll sort of lead you down some paths and save some time for you if you like using these combos. I think I was kind of drawn to this Sierra combo right off the bat. And maybe if I wanted to, I could go ahead, I could add additional overlays from the main set. I could also play with what happens if I run two overlays or two combos at the same time. Basically, you can play with this and have as much fun as you'd like to have. If it starts to feel overdone, simply go into the folders and you can reduce opacity or turn things off. Just like that. Or like this. But basically, your options here are endless, and hopefully this should save you some time and give you some fantastic tones. And then any little tweaking you want to do is right here in these bonus actions. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy these products. Have a great day.